Yes, sharing. بالظبط كده. Hear the last ايه the score and that's it. Okay, in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, one God, Amen. Thank you. We'll continue the module for management and ministry. God willing, today we'll have 2 lectures and a small exercise, group exercise that we'll do together. So the first lecture will be practical management examples. The second lecture will be working together as a teamwork. And then we'll have case scenarios, group discussion about a certain service, and we'll see what kind of aspects we talked about and how to apply this within those hopefully by the time we'll have 4 groups, so we could have 4 groups, or maybe you will assign 2 tasks to or we can reduce the group size a bit. We'll see. Okay. Practical management examples in service. There's lots of things that happen in service. I'll just pick 4 little things that we'll need to talk with each other about, and those 4 things will be part of the exercise that we'll do at the end after forming the teams, which that's why we're going to talk a little bit also about the team forming activities. So what's an efficient meeting? Whenever we have any service, we do a meeting, and we have tons of meetings. The meetings could last forever and could lead to some very good things, and some other times it's just a waste of time. So what makes a meeting efficient? An efficient meeting starts promptly. Sorry, I'm late by I don't know, 16 minutes or so. Stays on track due to a good time management and includes as few people as possible and achieves the stated objectives. So there is some objectives, there's a group of attendance, there's a time constraint. Let's talk a bit about efficient meeting. Efficient meeting, one big factor is time. Another big factor is tasks that the meeting will achieve, and then the process of how the meeting is run. So let's speak a little bit about the time and understand what I mean by time, or what this means by time. Because before we start into details, the important part that is related to an efficient meeting is records keeping. Records keeping for time, for tasks, for the process. This has to be in the background when you're doing any of the three tasks. Time. We'll have a meeting tomorrow at 6 to do whatever. Tomorrow, this is too short of a notice before the meeting. So we need to give ample notice before the meeting. With the notice, it's not only the time that we'll have a meeting at this time, but what we're going to be discussing. Who will be the attendees? What is the plan of what we're going to come up out of the meeting. So with the notice, we'll have a start time and end time. Our meeting will be within this time, so you guys know that we're here from 3 to 6. So I don't know, to stay to 6, I said I have to take a 15 minutes break at the end. So hopefully I can keep you entertained till 6. No, we'll finish before 6. Start to end. So each one of us has his own life, his own busy life, so he knows that I'll be in this meeting within this time. So within this time, there's tons of priorities to discuss. We need to pick the right priorities to start with. Like we can start the meeting with some socialization that will take the whole meeting time. Or we have certain priorities that we need to work with, but we'll start with this and hopefully we can finish it within the meeting time. Any meeting needs follow-up. And the meeting we decided that we're going to do this and this and this. Who will do and who is following up with who and when that follow-up will be. Here we are talking about time, so we're not talking about who is doing what, but the following up by when. Like we have a meeting, this needs to be done, and then we come to the next meeting a month after, no one did anything because we didn't specify the follow-up time. So efficient meeting need to take that time consideration into doing the meeting. Notice for the meeting, period for the meeting, certain tasks with priorities, and a follow-up time as well. When we talk about tasks, so we are starting a meeting for something brand new, like similar to that little exercise that we'll do later. We need to have an overall picture of all what we need to discuss. And then within that overall picture, let's define certain tasks that need some work. Maybe we can't do that work when we are 15, 21 people staying together. No, we'll assign this task to those two to work on it and come back and report to us what needs to be done. So that definition of the tasks and reassigning the task into a smaller group and due by, again, it's the link between the time and the task. It's always linked, the time and the task. Time and task, the process is what makes this whole story work together. In the process, like we are sitting together, like 10 people in a meeting, and then we put some idea. Okay, how are we gonna decide on the idea? It has to be every single one of the attendees' acceptance, or it's just the one who's leading the meeting wanna push his agenda, and you guys gonna do this no matter what, or we're gonna have a vote, and then the group attending will vote, and the higher votes will decide which decision we're gonna work with. Okay, task owner, who those 1 or 2 or 3 persons that will do this task and come back to us. And when they come back to us, is it just they are taking the task and going with it, or there's some process of following up? We have a meeting, a second meeting, like in a month's time, but within that month, there's this person or that person that is following up with the task to make sure that in a month's time things are processed. We can do tons of meetings. We can talk as much as we can, but if the time is not set and the records right, if the tasks and the owners of the tasks, the following up on the task are not sitting right in the records, we'll sit again in a month's time and we'll restart reinventing the same wheel. It's good that you guys do tons of meetings, but it's good that we step one step further back and decide our meeting efficient, or we just here to enjoy the company of each other. Time, task, and process, some points here, some points there, some points there. Record keeping is a key thing. It might sound silly, but we take attendance. So I know that, okay, yes, this specific day, there is a drop in attendance. Is there a reason, or there is no reason? I look for when I have records, I can look into common factors. Yes, yeah. Today is the Egypt game. I was expecting that some people won't be around, so that's reasonable. Or it doesn't matter. It just the people come late once we announce, because they are. So I'm not talking about her. I came late. Sorry. So once I have a record, I could actually do some work with them and understand what's going on in the service. Yes, God is the one who is blessing the service, but from my point of view, I try to deal with the service as if it's a business that needs to be managed right, and in between there should be a balance. Our Lord is God of keeping things in order. He didn't create things haphazard, but things are well kept in order. So we need to learn from Him to keep things in order as well. One first example for managing the service is how to be part of an efficient meeting, or how to run an efficient meeting from those four sides of the story. Another important point in our service is resource management. When I talk about resource management, there's three main resources that we need to balance between different services. Time, again, people, and money. I have a certain time that I cannot put myself into 100 service. I am one person that cannot be in 100 service. Where I have a certain group, I know that Gabe is a dependable guy. I'll use him all the time till I burn him, or he will whatever. Or yes, life is very easy. We'll do this. I'll go buy a new computer each time and giving a lecture because I forgot it last time at home. How to balance those three resources. So let's talk about time for a bit. Okay, there should be time for myself. Time for myself, it's not like my game time or my rest time only. But when there is my spiritual canon and there is a service, who has the priority? My spiritual canon or the service? My spiritual canon. So how can I do this without affecting my service? Set a time for it, or if I have to excuse myself from a service ahead of time, I need to inform someone so there's a replacement. So it's not like I'm serving in high school and somehow I remembered like Friday night, half an hour before the service, that I didn't do my prayer for the last week, so I'll do all the prayers in one shot. Doesn't work this way. Yeah, but I need to put things in order without forgetting myself, without forgetting my spiritual canon. Service. Is it one service or it's more than one service? And how to put the right time for each service. The very little example that I always say, but I have to balance it with the people, is like I'm coming to help in communion for second liturgy. So I finished first liturgy. I have to do something, and I'm just coming, and I have 5 minutes for the start of communion. So running in the corridors, going to church. I'll meet a group of young fellows like you guys. I'll say hi. You will say hi, and I'm in my way. But I meet a group of tons. I have to stand and give the cross to each one, and she has to bless the cross and give me a couple of words, and I have to answer back. Otherwise, Abuna Bari, whatever. So, is this part of the service that I have to spend that little time with the tons and uncles that I'll meet in the corridor? Yes, it is. But I need to manage it right. I need to sorry, I have to go because the communion is starting. So I said hi, I cut the time a bit, and I joined my other commitment. How to balance between the service and the other service, even if sometimes things appear like coming with a parachute. The same thing, like I'm starting with the high school service. I am also a coordinator in junior high or in primary school. I also take care of the camp in the summer. I am too crowded with so many different services that I could not do any in the right way. When to take more services, when you can say no. I'm saying about taking more services, not about letting go of some of the service that you have. Whatever service you started, you cannot let go just by managing time. For this, you have to go and follow up with your father of confession, because we tend easily to let go. Yeah, I'm too busy. Why not let go of this, and why not let go of this, and let go for the sake of time that I am using that much time in useless things that I can reuse. Who can do this discussion with me? It's not my service coordinator. It's my father of confession. I have to manage between my spiritual time, my self time, and my service, and time I need to remember to follow up. It's good that you visited one of your kids in the class, and you notice that they have a certain problem. Basically, they need a ride every Friday. So the first Friday, it's still in your mind, and you took it in your heart to stop by and bring them to church. The Friday after, no, I'm too busy. I called someone to stop by him. The third Friday is out of the picture. Sometimes some services need consistency and follow up all the time. Sometimes the follow up is just reminding someone else to do the thing. So I can't take this as an extra service on myself to stop by this guy, or I can delegate it to someone else to do it, or I can take the problem to my coordinator and let him figure out a different way of solving it. I need to protect that time that God is giving me as a gift, that it is not mine. It's his. Time is a valuable resource. The time that you spend with someone is more important than anything you do. Whatever you spend, like some money on some kid, who cares? You can get the same money or more in a different time. But this time that you are spending there, it's gone. So it's either counted towards something beneficial, or it's gone for good. We said managing resources. We said we're going to talk about 3 points, but we always have 3 points and something else in the background. Beside myself and the service and following up, what should I have in my in the background? My relationship with the Lord. And this is how I started. When I talked about myself, my spiritual line. When the service contradicts my canon, then I need to know. It's not like, no, I'm not going to attend the liturgy because I'm preparing a lesson. No. I need to prepare the lesson ahead of time, and I need to go to the liturgy for my own sake and for God to give me wisdom in talking to the class. How to keep my relationship before myself, so it's not myself like today is my game time or my sleeping time, before even the service itself, so I don't take any more services, losing myself in all the services. Like there is a nice verse in Jeremiah, I believe, while he was here and there, he was lost. So you are doing a service here and there, but you yourself get lost from being busy. Remember all the time that I'm doing this, it's his time that I am accountable for. I need to use it right. Okay, one other resource is people. And when I'm serving by myself, I'm responsible for myself. But when I am leading a group of servants, then I'm responsible for a smaller team. When I'm a coordinator of a year, I'm responsible for like more than one team and so on. How to balance this. Third thing, notice don't overload anyone. We normally tend to do this. As I told you, I have a group that works with me. If I ask someone to do the work, he will do it 80%. If I ask someone else, he will do it 80%. That's fine, but this means that I have to try to catch up part of that 20% missing. But if I give that job to another one, he will do it 100%. So what I will do, I'll keep loading this guy. So rather than doing 100%, he will start doing 80 and 50 and 30 and none. While if I distribute the load right, the people who are doing 80 this time, with a bit of training and with a bit of investing and them adding that 10%, next time will be 90 and the time after is 100. So people you need to invest in, not just use them to do whatever in your mind. I know you're doing this out of zeal. It's his service and you want everything right, but at the end we are people. Everyone does whatever he can, and after being overloaded, things will start to slip down. Delegate. This is a word that some of us need to know. There is a word called delegate. You can actually do a better job by letting someone else do the job. I can do a better job by letting someone else do the job. Yes, I know when you do it, you will do it 100%. But if you have two of them, then you're doing 80 and 80. If you have two disciples with you, they can do 60 and 60, but the one time after they will do 80 and 80, the one time after they will. So it's not only delegation, it's delegation and training. Because the problem with delegation, it's only one D. If you delegate and you disappear, it's a problem. Like I cannot delegate something to someone and disappear. Khalas, he is taking care of it. No, I have to keep following up and keep training him, knowing that these things are being done right. So with people, I need not to overload anyone. I need to involve some other people by delegating them in different services. and training them on what they are doing. I know some of this stuff might be a repetition for you guys, but it's a good refresher, because lots of people have problem with this delegation. They feel like, I can do the job. I have this problem. When I do things, I need it to the dot, so no one else can do it, but I can't either, because there's too many things. So we have to learn to add this delegation and training in our life. One important aspect we need to keep is the mix between the old experience and the new leaders. This is not for you, but maybe for me or for some of other people. Like, if you have the same coordinator for the last 50 years and he's working by himself, then there's something wrong in your head. There should be a second generation and a third generation and a fourth generation. Things should increase. This is like a little people example. You start service right after prepare to serve. So you start grade 3. Prepare to serve, you start grade 10. So by the starting of grade 11, you are serving as a servant in grade 3. Sounds good. You continue with your class 3, 4, 5, 6. Now you are in grade 6. You become a coordinator for grade 3, and you start a new group 3, 4, 5, 6. You have been with the same service for some time, so now you became the coordinator of grades 3 to 6. Sounds good. But after 4 more years, you are stuck with grade 3 for the last 12 years. You feel it's about time to quit. Where is the solution? There is no magic solution. But what happened to the coordinator that you took his place? You need to ask yourself that. Did he go up with a different service? Did the servant expand? So now you need 2 coordinators. Why you are being promoted in someone else's position? So the overall pictures need to be looked at. Here is a better scenario: training, delegation, change, and expansion. Things won't continue the same way. There has to be some changes, and the changes won't happen except by delegation and training, and this will end up in expanding the service. One last point, and then we'll give you a short break. Money as a resource for the service. So I'm doing a trip to the valley. The same class went to the same place last year. So I don't start from scratch. I go and check who led the trip last year, how much was the cost, what was the pros and cons, how things are, and so rather than, okay, yes, last year we did the trip for 100, I'll do my trip for 100. But you don't know if the trip for 100 was enough or was not enough. Was there an ample of extra money, or it's just not setting a number, but rather getting the whole experience. Learn from previous experiences. Capital experiences. I don't know if you remember 10, 15 years ago, we used to have the bouncing castle. So whenever there is an activity, we go rent a bouncing castle. You rent a bouncing castle, you pay $100 at that time, $100 per day. And then we said, no, forget about paying $100 per day when we bring the same bouncing castle like 6 times a year. So let's buy one. So we bought one. I don't remember for how much. And we used it for so many years, but then the storage is a problem. So it got stored here. No, it got stored in the 7 altars. No, it got stored in the valley. And then it disappeared. the didn't disappear at once. First, we lost the compressor. Yeah. Then this whole big thing is there, but there's no compressor. Okay, let's try to find another. Okay, but remember, there's capital expense that I need to start thinking wisely. Forget about this negative example. For sure, there is tons of positive examples. Like say for the choir, each time they perform, they rent the mics and the microphones and all this good stuff, and then this is costing a fortune. Why not buy a set and keep it here, use it for the training of the service every week, and using it whenever we have, and this is actually happening, thank God, and the things are there, stored somewhere. Someone is responsible bringing it and using it every single week. So think of previous experiences, think of can I facilitate thing by a capital expense, or I'll buy this huge monster that will cost me this amount of dollar to store. So basically I'm not saving anything. I'm actually spending money on the real estate. I'm using part of the church as a storage for some stuff that needs to be okay. And then balancing the money. I don't know if you remember last week when I was talking, I said like, I know that the trip will cost $100. I'll make it 110. So I'll allow for like 3 or 4 kids who cannot afford the 110 to let them go into the trip with only $50. I need to balance not only like the coming in similar to the coming out, but I need to see the overall picture of who of my class or who of my kids or who of my youth I want to have with me in the trip to benefit. Then I can balance things off between this and this a bit. One last thing to keep always in my background: do I compete with the world? We don't compete with the world. We can't compete with the world. Like, yes, the kids are here or the youth are here to have fun. Some of the fun could be similar to what is happening outside, but I'm not here to give them just fun. They need to understand that they could have some good time within the premises of the church in a good atmosphere, in a good way. I'm not competing with the world. I might be doing something similar to the world. If my whole trip is to take the kids to New York and there's no servants, so I'll bring Uncle X and Uncle Y and Uncle Z to be with the kids. So sorry, what did the service benefit? They took the kids to New York and they came back, and there's no connection whatsoever between their servants and the kids. No, the trips or the activities are a good chance for me to get to know the people I'm serving. If I'm not there, then I'm just competing with the world. I'm just giving them a chance to go and have fun. And I lost the good part that the church is responsible for. I'll end with another money example that I know might sound silly, but that's how I like to do things, and you guys tell me if it makes sense or not. You decided to bring a pizza for your class. You checked with your coordinator, and okay, no problem. don't worry, I'll get the pizza. So you go order some pizza. The pizza is for $100. So you go and pay how much? 100 and no, there's taxes. Come on, we live in Canada. So how much you're gonna be paying? 113 exactly. So you'll pay $113. You pay it from your personal pocket. You bring the pizza to the kids. The kids eat the pizza, and all is good. At the same time, I can't bring pizza each time to the class, and I have my tithe that I need to give to the Lord. So I'm not going to deduct 113. I'm not that. I'll just say, okay, as if I put 110 in the box. So my little calculation that I do for myself, it's as if there is 110 out of my tithe, and looks good. I blowed the pizza. No one knew about it, and I deducted some money from my tithe, and things are working fine. Yes, I don't like this way of service. This example of service was how we used to run our service in Egypt without the $13. So there was no taxes. But the taxes is not only the $13. There's another big factor with the taxes. Okay, so I go buy the pizza. I go to my coordinator. Please sign this receipt. We have a certain form. I give it to accounting. I need $113 I paid for the pizza. But I'm planning to donate this money. No problem. Get the money from the accounting. The church will get back 13% HST, and will give you a check for 113. So the church put $13 extra from the tax money in her pocket. You take that 113 and you donate it. Okay, here's another check for me, 113. I donated. At the end of the year, if I do this, say 3 times, my tax return will be like $37. You guys do your taxes or not yet? Okay, yeah. At the end of the year, when you start working, you do a tax return. Here is the income I got, and then here is the taxes you owe. And if you put some donation, this donation, certain percentage will get back to you. And that certain percentage, if you earn 10,000 a year versus 120,000 a year, this doesn't matter. You put a certain amount as donation, you will get some credit at the time of the taxation year at the end. So now you do this 3 times a year, like 3 times pizza, you got 37 back each time plus the $13. So basically, the kids eat the pizza, and the church got the 37 that you got back, you put it, and the 13 that the church got. 37 and 13 is $50, and the kids ate the pizza. Things are the same. All what it matters is some extra work for filling a form, signing the form, giving it to accounting, and let the government pay some taxes back to me for the donation. What's wrong with this? No. Don't let your right hand know what the left hand is doing. Who cares? Someone sitting in accounting have a long list of requisitions going in, and he's putting a check to this guy or to this lady. He doesn't know if this is a donation or not a donation. This has nothing to do with not let your right hand know what the left hand is doing, or the left hand what the right hand is doing. Sorry, this is exactly similar to I decided to fast this Lent from day 1. can I do this without telling my mom? She's the one responsible for the cooking. If I can't tell her how this will work, if I tell her, then I lost the benefit of the fasting. No, this has nothing to do with this. I'm not going out and like similar to the old days and going with a trumpet that I will be putting some money in the box, and I get the big silver coin, and I think you have to get the silver coin and you let it ding 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 ding. Yeah, something heavy is going. This is not what is happening. No, it's just I'm living in a different country with different ways of calculating things. They take taxes for every single. I don't know. They don't take taxes on water. Okay, that's good. Hopefully, they won't take. We will take taxes on air in a bit. So why not use the same system to my benefit? Okay, forget about this. It's not only my benefit. It's also at the end of the year when I know exactly that this service, there was a certain cost related to this service. It's not like the service is running in its own. So I keep good records for the people who will come and do the service after me. So it's not like, yes, things are working fine. It looks good. Yes, it all looks good, but this is good with an extra $50 in my pocket or in the church pocket. Yeah, be diligent. When you get the tax money back, remember it's not yours. That's a different story. Okay. We're talking about money, so too much talking about money, so a little warning. Okay, a story that I heard from one of the servants. This is what they used to do back home. They used to drive some of the kids or walk them to Sunday school, or in their way back, they take them, drop them by their home. While walking with the kids in the streets, why not buy some candy? Or if you guys gonna start serving youth, no, my company is issuing some basketball tickets. I'll give you guys. There's no way I'll have enough for 40 kids in my class, so I have 3 or 4. Those are my special kids that I will give them my own basketball ticket, and we'll go together and watch the game. I start forming a smaller group that is attached to me rather than to the church. Doing this for a small group out of your class will make this problem started to. This is a group of favorites, and it's not only favoritism, but it's also attracted the kids away from the Lord to my own person. And if you remember the verse of today in the gospel, the friend of the bridegroom is happy for his marriage, but he is not the one who will have the bride. We need to remember this. We are just a steward for his kids and for his money. I don't attach the kids to me. I need to attach the kids to the Lord. Yes, Sunday school, we are taking the kids out. The Sunday school, the church is taking the kids out. So I got some basketball ticket. Another servant got basketball tickets. Here we go to the coordinator. The coordinator will take, let's do a small whatever competition, and whoever will do this right will take him to the basketball. Now things are all in the clear, all from the hands of the Lord. There is no favoritism. There is no praise for me personally, but all the praise goes to the Lord. We talked about 4 small points: efficient meeting, and then efficient resources and time, people, and money. If anyone has a quick question, and then we'll get a 10 minutes break. We'll have another session for teamwork, and then we'll have a small groups that will work in 4 different problems in a certain project related to those four points. No questions? I have a question. Does anyone know the score? Okay, so no one is watching. That's good. We'll keep it for the break. Okay, guys, we'll meet again 4:07. So we'll meet 13 minutes, 4:20. 4:20. Hopefully, the session for like 30 minutes, and then another 10 minutes break, and then half an hour for the exercise together. Okay, I forgot to put this. Now can you see better? Okay. So that's the first stage, the team building, which is the learning, and the main issues are just personal acceptance and trust. The second stage is storming. Okay. The team discovers discrepancy between initial expectations. Enthusiasm are high and reinforce each other. See? I'm going through this a bit fast because it's a small part. The exercise is the important part that we're going to do together. The skill level and enthusiasm are high, and we reinforce each other. We support each other. We work as actually one person. Pride and excitement come from being part of a high-performing team. Not pride. I'm not proud of myself, but I'm proud of my team. It's this for the team. It's not I am showing up, but the performance of the team is what is important. Performance is the primary focus. The standards are high. There's a commitment to continuous improvement. It's not like we are there. No, we still have a goal to go to, but we need to act, all of us, together. Clarity exists for purpose, roles, and goals. Things are more clearer. We know how much work we need to do, and we trust each other, and we can work together towards our goal. Trust and mutual respects are the norm. Communication is open. Leadership is shared. We are not looking for someone to tell us what to do, but we know the abilities of each one, and we can help in going through the exercise. Variables of team development, the skill level or the productivity. We start with there is no productivity whatsoever. Everyone is thinking his way, but it increases with time. While the enthusiasm or the moral, we are starting, everyone want to do something. We are starting with a high moral, and then we get some conflict with each other, so things will slow down, facing reality, but then pick up again as we know each other and we redefine the problem. So skill level and enthusiasm are both high when a team becomes a high performing team, and that's the goal, to balance between the two. The skill level, we increase a bit. The enthusiasm, we start high, we dip very low, and then we are back to normal. When the two working together, this is a high performing team. We'll have a 20 minutes to discuss, and then one out of each group will come and present in 5 minutes what you guys discussed. Should we go through the 4 exercises, or how you want to do this? I think we can. It's not going to be something out of blue. Someone might have some inside knowledge, and someone will see. Okay, the case scenarios. Say, imagine we're gonna go into a mission trip into Grenada. So I'll give you some heads up of what is there, and then we need a team to start an efficient meeting, how to start this mission, a team to find out the time, a team to find out the people, the number, and how much they will do, and team to find out the money, how much we spend, how much we can collect, and so on. So this is sort of a nice little cartoonish map to Grenada. It's an island in the Caribbean Sea. If you look in the bottom, yeah, it's an island, and rather than provinces, they call them parishes. So there's St. George, St. Mark, St. John, rather than Ontario. Yeah, so it's a nice way, something to remember the old good days when things started there. So St. George, this is the main area. That's where the airport is, and that's where the university also is. So there is the airport, there's the university, and there is lots of university students who study medicine there. So part of the mission, we're gonna serve them as we do the service, and we try to involve them with us in the service. St. George is the high attraction, so it's the expensive area. This is 8 miles, so the whole island is like 8 miles. So why not stay in St. Davis rather than in St. George, and get a bit of cheaper accommodation? Where are the service location from where we are standing, and how how we're going to go back and forth to here and there. And then we are going to Grenada, the Spice Island. So I don't think you guys want to come home without some souvenirs to go. So we need a place to stop by and do some fun activity halfway through the trip. So here is a description of what is happening. It's a group of X members. We need to decide on that X are traveling to Grenada for a short period. A short, is it like 2 days or a week or 2 months? You guys need to come up with this as well. The mission will continue what last year missions started. So this is not the first mission. There's 2 missions that went before. So we need to learn from their time there. They do certain activities like house visitation, senior homes visitation, orphanage, youth meeting, and sports days. This is what they did and what we are hoping to continue. The group will also try to serve the Coptic students at the university there and involve them in the service. The group will be staying in an Airbnb house and will be renting a van with a driver for a local travel. The group will communicate with one of the leaders there. There is someone who is staying in the island. She was from Grenada and she knows the places and she can facilitate things a bit to prepare certain supplies, like for the house visitation, for the senior homes or whatever. They need certain supplies, so we'll take the supplies with us while going as per the request of each place that we be serving in. This is an overall picture of the mission. I just need to split into the four groups, and we'll go back and leave the overall picture of the mission, or maybe the map. So 4 groups: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 4 threes, or that's too much? 4 threes. Okay. So can we? Yes. So maybe, yeah. You guys wanna go to Father Dante, and you split into 3 and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's 1? Who's 2? Who's 3? Who's 4? We'll take 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 will just we need to set a meeting to start announcing the mission. So what we need to do before yeah, what we need to do before announcing the mission, managing the time.
I have a meeting for school.
اوكي طيب ربنا يبارك يا حبيبي. Your team هيبقى 2 معلش ولا ايه؟ ولا انتوا you will deal with 2 issues. How about that? Yeah, the time and people. Okay. So you deal with time and people. How long should we stay there? What kind of service should we do? Where to go and how to go? Do we need to go with a trip of 100 or a trip of 10 people and time? And 4 is 4 is the money. Therefore, so yeah, overall planning. Now I need to start collecting the team. What should I do so I can collect the team? So yeah, what we need to prepare before announcing the meeting. What is our number? What is our cost? What's the time span? Can we decide all of this on the spot, or we need to get some Yeah, we'll have one from this group saying the results of the meeting. The meeting idea is we need to announce for the trip. So for sure they won't have everything ready, but they will tell us what they come up with. And then the group that is going for how long and how big is the group, and they tell us not a number and a number, but how they came up with the number. The same thing with the cost, how they came up with the cost, or it doesn't have to be an exact number, but this is the items that collects the cost. So the mic is with you guys. Remember, we need to eat.
Okay.
Time, so you have 5 minutes.
Okay, guys. So this is for the meeting that's going to be happening before we start announcing. So the priorities for this meeting are discussing all the tasks we need to do before prepare so that when we can announce the mission trip. First thing we're discussing is, okay, what are the services that we're doing in Grenada? We discussed that and we're like, okay, so what's our target audience for that will be able to do these services? Like, and a lot of the services were visiting orphanages, visiting house visits, and then going to retirement homes and doing a lot of. So we decided to, and also serving the students in Grenada. So we decided that the best target the youth of our church for the mission trip. So then we discussed like how we're going to advertise to the youth to come to the mission trip. And then so some of the things we like need to know are like, of course, like how many people, and of course like the price, and other like when are we going. So we're gonna work with the other teams to discuss that. But once we get all of those details, we're able to put together like a poster, and then we start sending the poster to the youth. How do we send it to the youth?
Also on past events which have been successfully done in this way. So, for example, the Kenya trip had 2 weeks, an option for people to go for 2 weeks and an option for people to go for 1 week if they can only make it. And so we thought that that would be a great idea for this one as well. We decided that we needed to maintain a good ratio of servants to youth. So we were looking for around 25 youth and 4 to 6 servants plus an abuna. And this way we could also accommodate by arranging for a driver. Most vans that are, for example, like big vans that take 11 seats, we can get 2 of those to transport all the youth. And for the activities, we decided to also like split up the youth for each of them. So there are house visits, senior homes, orphanages, sports, youth meeting, and visiting the Coptic students. And so dividing up the total number of youth and servants into smaller groups, and they could all rotate between those activities throughout the week. And we also decided that to optimize the time for during the weekdays, weekday mornings, we'd have the house visits, senior homes, and orphanages because those people are more likely available. Whereas in the evenings, the students probably have class in the morning, so we would plan an activity for them and have like a talk and a guest speaker invited. And during the weekends, that's when we'd have our fun days because that's when most people in the community have their time off. And so we'd host our sports events, other youth meetings and such. And we'd also have liturgy during the weekends, tasbeha, and we'd also connect to the other churches in that area and organize events there. Oh, there. Okay, never mind. Okay. And for the accommodation, so we decided that we'd have two separate Airbnbs, one for the boys and one for the girls, and with the option or with the availability of private rooms as well, for Abuna, for example, to have his own room. And for all of these events, we'd also provide food for the youth and those visiting. And yeah, and this would take place during the semester, so ideally during March break for the students who are available, or reading week for the university students. And we wanted to make sure that the students who are in Grenada would be there at the time, so they're not on vacation, so we'd have the ability to see them. Yeah, that's everything, I think.
Any delegation for the people, we need to communicate to someone to do something, any training for the group that is going, we need to know something or need to learn something as we go.
Yes, there is. Like booking tickets, for example, so the flights, so we need someone who has experience.
For the service. So as the group that is going, you guys gonna offer something to the audience.
Right.
To the youth, what is this something? You need to work on it. So you need to do like your own little sticks, your own crafts, and then assign, okay, for this craft, we need this much resources. So you give this to the money pollute to account for and so on.
Yeah.
Sounds reasonable. If you put yourself in the exercise of doing actually something, I know there is lots of really old experiences that you don't have, but you compare it to Kenya. And the comparison, when you're going to somewhere close by, the cost of travel is not that much, so you can go for a short trip. But when you're going to Kenya, you don't want to go to Kenya for 3 days or for just 1 week. You want to go for 2 weeks. Grenada, it's not too close, it's not too far. Yeah, but it's just the timing. So actually, there is the plane, the Air Canada goes there once a week. So it has to be either a week or 2 weeks. You can't do 10 days. Otherwise, you will stop by like in Miami and stuck for 10 hours at Dundee. So there is some things that are not in your hand that you just need to dig for that will help you to make the decision. But you are in the right track.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, the money group will see all the input will go back to will go back to you. Let me.
I put the noise. You don't put it. Okay, so we got money, as clearly stated on the screen. Basically, we listed out a bunch of things that like we had to take a budget for. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna name out the things, and I'm gonna name out like basically like why, if there's further explanation to it. But we have tickets, so you know you can get to, yeah. So we have tickets, hotel, so like a shelter and stuff, food and water for the kids. And then we have to also talk to the activity group to budget out all the activities and how much it's gonna cost. Um, transportation, so how we get from one place to another. And we also have to put in the budget donations. So like, for example, if we bring clothes, toys, things like that. Also, like if there's like a church there that needs money for say, for like incense or like things like that, we also have to put that in the budget.
From previous experience, you know that now that there's no church there. So,
Oh yeah. Sorry. Um, also we have to put in a budget for like a medical kit or something, just in case of like we have to do research on like, yeah, like viruses that could like be taking place. I don't know if there
yeah,
is.
similar to Kenya, you have to get certain shots before you go.
Exactly.
So thank God,
Yeah.
no, Grenada is okay. You don't need any shots before you go.
And we also decided that we'll contact a travel agent to see the best prices. And we'll also be looking at like school schedules so we can like, you know, juggle both of them in between. And also we want to put in a budget for like extra money for like in case of like say someone can't pay the full price. We would like to like, you know, discount it. But also we also had another idea. It's basically if like say for example we have 25 people paying for a ticket. If we pay on an American Express card, we can actually, for a matter of fact, get like a 2 or 3 tickets for free for those that like, you know, like can't really go. So
Here in Canada, you have to buy 20 tickets to get the 21st free.
yeah, so like
This is what we did
if we
last
have
time.
20 people, yeah.
So-
So, and then if one person can't really pay, so we'll be able to provide that for them. That's it.
And I
Yeah.
think for the numbers, just keep in mind, it's the same number that have to drive to be able to fit in cars, the same numbers that have to be staying in homes, it's the same number that has to be split into the different services. So sometimes like reaching that magical number depends on, okay, how is the maximum capacity for Airbnb, what is the van's size or the car's size and the rental and so on. As you said, with American Express, can I get a discount for a certain number of tickets? Or Air Canada, we are stuck with the 20. So the decision is not that out of the air. No, there is some experiences from here and there. That's previous experience. Capital expenses. I know this is maybe hard for you to come up with, but the last 2 times we went with the same Airbnb. So now the owner knows that we are a Christian group that are coming for a mission in his town. So he allowed us to buy some air mattresses and store them for us. So when we go, we go beyond the capacity. So this is a capital expense that we need to do it one time, buy the mattresses, keep it there, use it. I know this is minor detail, but just fits in the overall picture. I hope by the end of today, it's just not like we're going to a trip, so the trip is for $100. No, I can't give a number from scratch. I have to actually do my exercise, see what is this $100 for, and also by the end of the trip, I need to leave some experience for the people after me. So I need to do my math. I went to Texas, the cost of the ticket was so and so, the cost of the bus was so and so, the cost of whatever is so and so, the total cost is this. this, so next year we can correlate the numbers. So we learn from previous experiences. We have good records of what is going on, and we try to balance the trip. We try to, like at the end, the church doesn't mind providing some money for the service. But from day one, I don't say we are going to Niagara Falls and the trip for the Deacon Convention is for $60. And I know that only the bus will cost $60. Then I'm asking the church to accommodate for all the cost of the food, for all the cost of whatever they are doing there. I need to be reasonable a bit. It's good to see the overall picture. It's good to sit and think of the items one by one, to manage the trip as a little projects that we have. Thank you for your listening, and thank you for hopefully that short exercise was a nice refreshing. I think we have one last item before we go, and then you're good to go. Thank you very much.
Post evaluation, you already have the link on the WhatsApp, so you got 10 minutes now to post it up and do the submission for the course evaluation. Thank you.